Hey everyone, I want to talk about why my progress has stalled. That could be something you're thinking right now, or you're having a spike, or you're having a really bad moment with OCD after feeling good for a really long time. We've all been there, we've all had that. And I'm going to talk about some of the things you could be doing or looking at in the sense of, even though I was feeling better, just because someone is feeling better in a symptom aspect doesn't mean that they're actually getting better. There were many times where I felt no physical anxiety, no symptoms whatsoever, but deep down I knew my beliefs were not actually shifting because I wasn't really working on it. I wasn't pushing the boundaries. Not that you have to be doing that all the time, but I more than likely knew I was in a coasting phase. So this is where you could be putting more work in, what's happening when OCD is coming back. And before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this video. And if you're looking for coaching or webinars, 8:30 p.m. on Tuesdays, Phil at OCDrecovery.com, and he'll get back to you in a timely fashion. And that's how you get into the WhatsApp groups, which is a terrific community. You got to remember, inside the WhatsApp groups, there are numerous things that we post every day, all the moderators, voice notes, extra specific insights that don't go anywhere else but the WhatsApp groups. That's the value that we have when you come in and work with us. You get that community, and all the groups have 100 to 130 or 40 people in it, and they're just a lot of fun. People love being in the groups. And you have some people who have been in there for years and they're recovered or they're really better. Some people who are brand new, lots of people who are brand new. And it's just a good community. So when you are asking yourself, what progress could I still be making? I'm going to pull out a piece of paper for us so I can write some of this stuff down. And I'll show it. So these are things that I would look at, me personally, when things were rocky in my life, okay? So the first thing I look at, and I know I sound like a broken record here, is my daily habits. Now, the reason why I talk about my daily habits is there's really no such thing as, well, there is no such thing as you and your OCD. You are your OCD. You are one and the same. So you never hear me say, that's my OCD. You never hear any of us say, that's my OCD. It's just you and you alone. So yes, we have OCD. We have to accept that aspect of having a disorder. But on top of that, there's no separation between the two. Making your bed, for an example, I always use that example, might not seem like it has anything to do with your OCD. But if you don't make your bed, you don't brush your teeth, you don't go to the gym, you don't cook your meals, you don't do any of that stuff, that builds to your low frustration tolerance, which affects many things in your life. So look at my daily habits, okay? Could I be making improvements in that? Another one is, how am I handling disagreements? So this is another one that directly goes and correlates into low frustration tolerance. So how am I handling discussions with my wife? We don't see things in a certain manner. How am I handling, like any business, right? Me, Moman, Rob, and Phil, we're very much directed in the same mission, but we're humans with different backgrounds in different areas of the world. I mean, Moman's a gay man from Pakistan, and I'm from New Jersey, and Rob's from Spain and London, in England, and who knows where Phil's from? Phil's from hell. No, but I think Phil is from Spain as well, but also born in England, I think. I love how I don't know that. So how do I handle those disagreements? Am I getting better at wearing the possibility I could be wrong about something, being more open-minded? Okay. Maybe the next thing I look at is direct compulsions. Okay. Have I fallen back into any subtle compulsions? And on top of this, all the things we're about to talk about, all this takes, all of this needs a lot of honesty with yourself. So honesty with yourself. There are a lot of people, and I was included in this category. It's easy to do. No, I'm really doing better than I really am. But it's not true. It's okay to admit when you're not doing well in a proactive way. But it is important to highlight there are things you're more than likely could be getting better on. So direct compulsions. Another thing to look at is my worst case scenarios. So how are my beliefs on my worst case scenarios? Let's go to my sensory motor. the worst case scenario for almost all sensory motor is the fear of noticing this for the remainder of my life and my life being ruined. So how is my worst case scenario? How is my perception on that? And understanding that acceptance doesn't mean agreement. How is my worst case scenario my body dysmorphia? How's my worst case scenario on physical anxiety symptoms? You know, one of the questions that Rob used to pose on webinars, and I still pose this question now, is what happens if there was no OCD recovery and these were the symptoms you had to put up with for the rest of your life? That would not be fun. It would hinder your life in many ways, but you could still live your life and still enjoy aspects of your life. That is true. Even at the worst OCD suffering, I still had many good moments. Okay. So, daily habits, disagreements, the way you handle them, direct compulsions, plus avoidance, the big ones. A lot of people, including myself, have slipped back into those behaviors when things go wrong. My worst case scenario. Another thing to look at is work ethic. And I think another good place is social media usage. Social media is not inherently bad. I know there's a lot of people on the Rogans of the world, podcasts that talk about the death of having social media and why it's destroying our youth. It's done a lot of great things for our youth as well. It's done a lot of problematic things, but without social media being balanced properly, I don't really scroll a lot, but I do. I watch a lot of stupid stuff like a human, but it's very much contained, maybe 5 minutes here, 7 minutes here, a few times a day. But every time I've said I'm not going to do that at all, it's created another type of dramatic, rigid belief that I didn't like. So the work ethic one is interesting because a lot of people will subconsciously start taking time off work. And there's no rules here, guys, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to work. Someone asked me a great question on one of the videos the other day that said, well, what if I don't want that? What if I just want to live like a normal person? And there's no such thing as a normal person, but I know where they were coming from. What if I just want to live like a normal average person and I don't want to have to push myself like that? That's fine, but there still is probably some belief work. And a lot of people, I think a lot of people do enjoy working. They just, have rigid beliefs about they need to enjoy everything that they're doing. I don't enjoy every single aspect of anything I do. No one does. It's not real. I know social media has convinced us. But I think pushing the boundaries with work and working long hours and days and days and days in a row might not be something that people enjoy, understandably so. I don't enjoy it all the time, but it's taught me a lot of lessons. That's just a personal decision I decided to make. Another thing to look at, is I'll call this one a short fuse. How's your road rage? How snappy are you getting with people? Are you telling people to shut up? Are you yelling with family members, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, cousins, uncles, aunts, all that? How are you handling politics, money, religion conversations, the big ones that people, I always joke and say their prefrontal cortex falls out of their head and they get extremely emotional, understandably so, and I did that for the majority of my life. If you didn't agree with me, I would tell people to fuck off. It just was my MO and was not good. So these are all places to be looking. Here's another one. Your health routines. And not in a really rigid way, but just how are your health routines looking? Are you going to the gym? Are you eating, 3-4 meals a day? Are you snacking a lot? Are you skipping meals? Again, this is going to look different from person to person. I work out 5 days a week for about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours, and I heck on the weekends when I get the chance. And I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I try not to snack. That's it. No tracking, no Fitbit. This is what works for me. No macros, no tracking my programming. Some people can get away with that. I think a lot of people can't, so you're going to have to test that out yourself, but also being honest. If it's controlling your life too much, you might want to drop it. So I would say that's probably a good list of all the things that we could do, or we could check. So, the daily habits, disagreements, the direct compulsions, avoidance, my worst case scenario, your work ethic, social media usage, short fuse, health routines. These are just things that people will do incorrectly or too much or they'll avoid when they're looking at what changes could I be making. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Always message down below. We have new people coming in every day, all the time. And we just, our mission is to change OCD and anxiety forever. And we're very passionate about that. It's why we produce so much content for you guys. And we try to improve the service and the value, over time. So Thank you again as always. Webinars, 8:30 p.m. UK time. Please come to a webinar if you can't come to a single coaching. They are a blast. Hope to hear from you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.